I've visited your central kitchen multiple times, and every time I visit your central kitchen, it is obvious that everybody there loves their job.
We were like, we're already on this path. Now let's do more stuff, which is going to, support these kids, because if they're not eating, they're probably going hungry.
There is so much to unpack there. I wish I had a notepad out so I could have taken some notes. Manish Singh, how are you doing? Man, I feel like this was just meant to be. I know it was meant to be because at the end of our last podcast do you remember when that was?
I think it was like 4 years ago.
It was 2021, February 2021.
21.
And you told me that you wanted to invite me back after the changes that you were working on, the enhancements you were working on, the evolution that you were working on was in motion. And here we are in this gorgeous office. Look at this view. This is amazing. You literally have the Hollywood sign right over there. That is crazy.
I do have one of the best views in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So do me a favor. Obviously, I already know you. I'm sure most people out there do, but there might be a few people here or there that may not know who you are. Do you want to do a kind of I don't know, give me your origin story, but not maybe as deep as last time.
Okay, so we'll make it quick and short. Grew up in India, in the foothills of the Himalayas. Did my undergrad in economics. And then after that, did hotel management with a company called the Oberoi Hotels. Came to the U.S. in 1990. Tried getting a job in the hotel business. That's what I knew. Couldn't get it. Went to fast food. Started with Carl's Jr. Worked with multiple companies. Joined the school district 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
2006. And I'm actually coming on my 18th anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yes. It's coming up in exactly a week's time.
Is there a party?
We're actually having a holiday party on that day.
Okay, all right.
It wasn't planned, but it's working out that way.
Yeah.
And so now, last 6 years, I've been the director for Foodservices for Los Angeles Unified. It's been a very unique experience because being in the business for now 79 to 46 years, but school food is different. But again, as I've said to people, this is a business too. We do it on a no-profit basis, but at the same point of time, the numbers we run are pretty big. So we have to manage it effectively in order to stay fiscally afloat.
Yeah, and the numbers and the funding and the money is like, you have to be good stewards because, it's government funding because you guys offer reimbursable meals. You're a CEP district. I feel like last time we spoke, you were 75% CEP. Are you guys still in that
We
same?
are 100%.
100. Let's go.
We
That's awesome.
are 100%
CEP.
CEP district. One of the things which contributed to that is we saw a huge jump in our direct cert numbers. And then, of course, California went universal meals. Mm-hmm. So it just made sense for us to be 100% CEP.
Yep.
We had a couple of things we had to work out with the California Department of Education because some of our schools are structured differently. Mm-hmm. But we worked through all of that, and now we are 100% CEP.
So what that means, in case you don't know what CEP is all about, every student at LA Unified eats on the house.
Every student in LA Unified eats on the house. Plus, given the fact that we are in California, cost of living, especially in Los Angeles, is way higher. California, salaries are higher too. Our minimum wage right now is $22.52 an hour, which I think is the highest in the country.
That is high.
But our reimbursement is the same as everybody else.
Oh, man.
So we do get a little bit of money from the state also, which helps. And that has been part of the story, which has helped us to transition from where we were to what we are today.
Yeah, do you want to kind of touch on that briefly? Because I know last time we spoke about finances and like the district actually, the program being like a business and how you were able to make some pretty radical changes. You want to touch on that real quick?
Absolutely. So one of the things, our approach has always been that we want to do the best for the kids, but at the same point of time, we want to do right for the district as well. Funding which comes to the district from the state and from the federal government is meant for education. Food is a supporting role. I always say to people, food is the most basic. It's even more basic than education. But having said that, um, you know, education is the reason why kids come here. Parents have also said to us that food is a very important part of the whole program for them. What we have done in the last 4 years since we last talked, one, we have an active farm to table program. So we got 2 grants from California Department of Food and Agriculture for $1 million each. We leveraged that to see how can we implement a really robust food to table program in a school district our size. Because our dynamics and our logistics are very different from a smaller school district. Having said that, we worked with 2 companies. We worked with Alice Waters Institute, and then we worked with Share Plate Strategies. And we've actually come up with a model. And our RFP to, buy directly from farmers is going out. But in the meantime, we started doing some purchase of them. So in the last year, we purchased over almost about $700 million worth of fruits and vegetables directly from these small farmers. And what that has done is that kids are getting to experience a farmer market experience in their schools.
Oh, man.
Because the thing is, the product gets plucked, it comes to us, and within 48 hours, it's at schools. And so it's working out well. The other part of it also is that we got some grants from the state for food, for kitchen infrastructure and training. So we leverage them. We have a active partnership with the Culinary Institute of America. So we actually got them over and trained some of our managers, some of our trainers, and then we incorporated some of the recipes that we were trained on. We hired a chef who is a CEIA trained chef, and she's been on board now for about 7 months. And Jamie has really helped to up the level of the food that we serve using some of the training funds and the kitchen funds that we got. We have invested in combi ovens. So as of the end of this month, all our 160 secondary sites will have a combi oven.
Oh, man.
That has changed the game of what we can do and what we are able to do. We have also introduced some recipes which are scratch cooked, so that you literally start with the raw ingredients and you create them. They have been very well received. I would also point out, when we're talking about the fiscal part of it, that while we are a declining enrollment district, which is true of many school districts in California, our meal counts have been going up.
Yeah.
So we have been increasing our meal counts, and so that has helped us, in spite of radical changes in our cost structure, to be able to generate more revenues to help us stay fiscally responsible and solvent.
There is so much to unpack there. I wish I had a notepad. I was quite good at taking some notes. All right, so let's go back to the grants that you received. So it's often that I hear operators asking, like, where can I find these grants? Like, I see all these other districts doing these cool things like what you're doing, but how do they afford it? Where are the grants? So do you have any tips out there for people that may be interested in looking for grants so they can do things like what you're doing?
So some of the grants which I talked about, those were California grants. So, you have to be in California in order to take advantage of them. But I think over the years, we have built up a good relationship with the nutrition wing of California Department of Education, also with the California Department of Food and Agriculture. And they've also seen, we had the first partner come, we had the Secretary of Ag come and visit our schools to see what exactly we're doing over here. We've had USDA come here about 3 times to see the changes which we have been making. Plus, they have heard the fact that we have kept our program fiscally in the black. So they're like,
Yeah.
okay, what's different thing that you're doing over here as opposed to others? I would also allude to the fact that I have a very good team of people. I have two deputy directors, Florence Simpson, who handles the procurement, handles the menu side of it, and then I have Sonia Pearl, who handles the operations side of it, and then hiring and staffing.
So real quick before you go on, the gentleman that's at your central kitchen that oversees that, what's his name again?
Javier Gutierrez.
Javier. All right. So I've visited your central kitchen multiple times, and every time I visit your central kitchen, it is obvious that everybody there loves their job. And like seeing the way Javier and Florence and you and your team just interact with each other, it's like it's inspiring because it's full of joy. Like it's literally full of joy in that kitchen.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. The one thing which I would say is when you're in the food business, you're in a service business.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy it because the hours are long, school food is a little different than outside, but I worked in the outside industry for a long time. Having said that, I've been pushing with the idea two things. Number one, we are a service organization. We're here to support schools and support the students. So understand, we are serving. That's one part of it. The second part of it is, like anything, you do a job which is well done, but at the same point of time, you stay financially independent.
Yeah.
We have been successful on both ends. Talking about the Newman Center, I'll also say that one question which was asked of me about 5 years ago was that if there's one thing you would ask for Foodservices, and I kind of repeated the question to the person who posed it to me, was you saying just one thing? And he said, yes. I said, well, then in that case, give me a central manufacturing kitchen where we make our own food, because that way would be a game changer. Having said that, we were fortunate to get these funds from the state, which we have invested wisely in our people and in our schools, which is enabling us to change the definition of what school meals are. We do 2 surveys with parents and students every year. And I'd be happy to share with you that our positive rating is 79.5%.
Congrats.
Which I think in the school world is a good thing.
That's a big one.
Because, I mean, for kids to say, yeah, this is good and decent, that's a nice one. Not to say that we will not hear or get some complaints. We do.
Yeah.
But then we address those.
So let's say you have a student that is complaining about a meal and they go to their parents and their parents call you. What does your team typically do to handle that situation?
So it depends on what the complaint is. Is it about service or is it about the quality of meals? I think a lot of people, what we find still is that people have some preconceived notions about what school food is. We have been working very actively and strategically to change that perception. So amongst some of the things which we've done is that every year we have food tastings at schools where we invite parents and administrators to come and taste. We have strategically been catering the district events. So, for example, the superintendent has what he called as data dialogues. It happens every quarter. Invites all the top administrators of the district, including about 120 principals. We have been catering that for the last year and a half. And so people have been saying, hey, this food is great. Yeah. That changes how people, so when their opinion changes because you've actually fed them, then they go and say the same thing out.
Making champions.
To people. With students, we have been actively involved with student advisory committees. We do food samplings with them. We get their opinions. We also have gently been nudging them to be our spokespeople at schools. We have been reaching out to parent groups. We have done many parent group meetings across the district, feeding them what is actually being served so that when the kids say it's terrible and they taste something different, they're like, all right, my kids said this was bad, but this is good food.
Yeah.
Well, we want you to know because there's a bunch of kids who are like I don't go to the cafeteria because it's not cool. That's the next group that we're going to target. That explain to us why it's not cool.
Yeah.
And what can we do to make it cool for you. But having said that, like I said to you, I'll give you an example. When we came out of the pandemic, we were serving about 210,000 breakfasts every day. Prior to that, we used to serve about 320 to 330,000. Because we were coming out of pandemic situation, the superintendent wanted to give schools some space because there was still the concern about proximity and congregation, all the rest of it, to decide how breakfast would be served at it. So we allowed that to happen, but by slowly and surely chipping away at the principles and the expectations, we've been successful to increase it to about 255,000 a day. When we came out of pandemic, for lunch, we were serving about 240,000 meals. At this point of time, we're trending 282,000 meals a day. Supper, we were trending about 40 to 44,000. We're now trending about 52 to 55,000. So in each area, we've been able to see an increase in numbers. And when we've introduced some of our new menu items like the birria bowl, we just recently introduced the chicken masala and chana masala into the menus. We also introduced our new made from scratch cinnamon rolls at schools. We are going to be introducing our bagels with cream cheese. Each one of them has got such a round of applause, and the kids are looking forward to it. In fact, one of my bosses said to me that he went to see his mentor, and just as a treat, he'd taken him in and out. And the kids said, "Thank you so much, but the cafeteria is serving this thing, and I have to eat that." I was like, he said,
"Come on by."
That was the best. And I was like, okay. And you said it directly to my boss.
Yeah.
So that's a confirmation when kids are saying, hey,
Yeah.
I like this food.
Yeah.
So,
I love that you talked about like birria and the chicken masala, and because the meals being served by districts like yourselves today are completely different than in the past, and they're so diverse too.
Yes.
Because you have an extremely diverse community here, so it makes total sense to have those two offerings on your menu. And might I add, like I've tried those before, and they are absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious.
For Thanksgiving, I mentioned our executive chef. She created a holiday sandwich because we had seen that with the secondary kids, they weren't so much into the regular turkey and mashed potatoes and cranberry meal. So she created this alternate holiday sandwich, which was basically stuffing with cranberries and a little salad and the turkey. It was an absolute hit. So, innovative things, things which kind of get the kids too. And now they've started getting used to the idea that, hey, new things are coming. We have a digital app, which we have at this point of time, 57,000 subscribers.
The online menus app?
Online. So
Great.
That's another avenue that we have where we inform people that, hey, this is coming up. So that kind of bumps up the attendance, and people are like, okay, I have to go and see what they're doing now.
Yeah, I love the way you guys build your brand, because you're so intentional about creating the champions and sharing the right messages, getting people involved, engaging, and just you're strategic. And what is the name of your brand? I forgot. It's
Cafe LA.
Cafe LA.
But now we kind of expanded it to incorporate it that we are part of LAUSD.
Okay.
So now it's Cafe LA, LAUSD.
Gotcha. You guys are doing a fantastic job at that, and fighting the same battle I'm trying to fight from my end, which is changing the perception of school meals. And I feel like school meals as a whole has a branding issue because people have misconceptions, and having friends and partners like you that I can share content and information and inspirational stories from, it's so helpful to help change that perception, because you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think when you're feeding kids, there's certain responsibility which comes with it. I pointed out to you that we are a 100% CEP, district. So one of the things which happened in April of 24 is that when we got our direct cert numbers from the state and from the local county, we saw such a sharp increase in the direct cert numbers. It was 67%. In the previous year, it was 57%. That was a 10% increase. I kind of went back and I said, can you check that for me again?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, that's too drastic. So we did a recheck and the numbers were what they were. Kind of made us aware of the fact that with, the economy, the change in grocery prices and all that, a lot of families were kind of finding it difficult to kind of support their families. And so we were like, we're already on this path. Now let's do more stuff which is going to, support these kids, because if they're not eating, they're probably going hungry.
Yeah.
So
A
I
hungry
think
kid
that
can't
kind
learn.
of was a message which we got to our managers and to the entire team, and everybody kind of understood and could, resonate with it.
Yeah.
And that kind of helped us. We were when we started this year, we were projected to lose money. What we've done in the past 4 months, we already projected to be in the black.
Yes, congrats. That's awesome. So what's it been like partnering with the Culinary Institute of America?
One is it kind of gave our managers for a long time had been on the heat and serve model, right? So things were coming together. They might assemble a few things and then serve it. But when they went through the program, there was a concern, oh my God, I'm going to be cutting, peeling, chopping, and everything. When they went through the program, they realized it was different, but it wasn't what they thought it would be. And one thing which I had been saying to them, don't worry, before you actually have to do it, you'll go through a training which gets you adequately ready for it. And we delivered on that. So I think CIA helped us to break it down and show them what scratch cooking means. It's not what it used to be once upon a time where, you got everything. These days, you get some sauces together, some things you do from scratch in the kitchen, and then you assemble the meal together. And the combi ovens help to elevate the meals.
You seem excited about those combi ovens.
Very excited about it, because all my managers, when I talk to them, they're like, this is a game changer. It has been. I'll give you an example. They said when they were using a convection oven to make rice, it used to take them almost 50, 55 minutes. In the combi oven, they're able to do the same thing in 25, and they're able to do multiple batches. So obviously it's a change. The other part of it is even things like French fries. School food, there's no frying of food.
Yeah.
So it acts like a air fryer. So the inside is nice and soft, the outside is crispy. The kids are happy, we're happy.
Yeah.
We also introduced our first food truck, and we're in the process of getting possibly 3 more.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, real quick, one of my friends works for an equipment company, and she was like, you can cook anything in a combi oven, like everything from ramen to a steak. And I was like, are you serious? She was like, yeah, come taste this. And we were at a show, a conference, and they were actually cooking steak in the combi oven, and it tasted delicious. Absolutely delicious. So talk to me about the food truck. So you have one, and you're potentially getting 3 more?
Yes. So we got our first food truck in partnership with No Kids Hungry.
Okay.
So it's been on the road for about 1.5 years now. It's extremely successful. In fact, by I think it was early September, we were booked for the whole year. We send it to schools 4 times a week.
Is it going to secondary, elementary? What
It
kind of
goes
schools?
to all schools now.
Wow.
Because initially we started with secondaries because we were going to get more food trucks in, but then they were taking their time about, booking it.
Yeah.
So then I opened it up to everyone, and since then it's just been every day they're out. The kids love it. I think even when we are serving the same food or similar food, but when they're eating from a food truck, they're like, oh, the food truck's here. It tastes different.
It's the experience.
Yes. So that kind of thing. We look to get 3 more. The rules in California changed. Now they expect us to have electric food trucks. And not too many people are manufacturing those.
Is anybody manufacturing that?
I believe there are 1 or 2 people who've actually done 1 or 2. So it's still new. But having said that, we will be acquiring those so that we can serve more schools on an ongoing basis.
So what's in your food truck? What kind of equipment do you have?
We have a full kitchen.
The combi ovens too?
No, not the combi oven. We talked about it, but the requirements for a combi oven
That's what I was wondering.
changed the capacity significantly. And the company we went with the first time was like, I don't know, and so on and so forth. So he's like, let's stay with something which is tried and tested. Because one thing is we cannot afford to have it going back to the garage.
Yeah.
For servicing when it's supposed to be serving students. So we stuck with the normal, but we have warmers, we have ovens, we have a griddle, we have refrigeration. It's a fully loaded food truck.
And is it doing all meals or just lunch?
Only lunch.
Only lunch.
Only
okay.
lunch, and we have a kitchen, which is at our Newman Nutrition Center, where we prepare the meals, but then the finishing and the last minute cooking is all done on the food truck.
What does it look like? I'm curious.
I can show you photographs, or I can share photographs with you.
Yeah, send me some photos and
Yes,
we'll
I
include it
will.
in the podcast. But do you guys have it like wrapped or anything? Is it
Yes,
branded?
we do.
All
It's
right.
branded.
Okay.
It is branded, looks really nice, very visible when it's on LA roads.
Good.
And that was the intent.
Yeah.
That was the intent.
Yeah. So are the next 3 that you're hoping to get, are you going to do anything different with these food trucks, or are you going to kind of keep it, you're going to run off the same model you have with the original?
I think it's pretty much going to be on the same model because, again, when you're serving things or you're supporting a school, they're like, is that other one getting something better than me? So we have to be equitable.
Yeah.
But having said that, we have right now, I think we have 3 menus that we offer. With 3 more trucks, I think 3 menus is a good number to choose from. And so we have one which is like burgers and things. Second one, we do dumplings and tacos and things like that. So
where's the
we
food
have
truck
good
at
choices.
today? I want to go catch it. I'm feeling hungry.
I don't know. It might be at the Newman, but it might be out at a school.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love a good food truck. I know the kids do too, and that's another thing that you're doing to, in a way, compete with restaurants, because these kids, like, they probably don't want to go to some cafeterias because they're not getting the QSR like experience, and they're not. Like, they love things like food trucks too, so they want to be adults and they want to eat in school what they eat out in public. And once again, having food trucks is a great way to give them that experience.
It is. One of the questions I was asked is it going to be a moneymaker? I said indirectly, because this is going to be a marketing tool for us.
Yep.
The kids who don't come into our cafeterias, this is going to be one way of inducing them or encouraging them to come and try what's happening over there.
Yeah.
And it has worked.
Great. Do you guys do summer meals here?
Yes, we do.
Are you going to use the food trucks for that also?
We did.
Okay.
So during the summer months, we had them booked at certain schools. Of course, one of our requirements was that the school should be having at least more than 150 kids attending. The summer school attendance is different than regular school. So to send the food truck there, it needs to be productive enough to do that. But yes, our food truck worked the whole summer, and we had them make the round of school, and kids were happy.
That's great. Do you guys have a catering department too?
We do.
Can I ask you a really silly question? Like, this may
Please
be
do.
really dope. So people out there, don't get mad at me for asking this. Can a school catering program provide meals to outside entities or organizations or whatever? Because in my head, I'm thinking, like, I'm seeing this food truck driving down the street. I want some way to reach out and order a meal and go by and pick it up as like a catering service or something.
Let me answer that.
No.
So we have stayed away from making it into a cash transaction.
Mm.
Because the intent of this was to support the program. It wasn't to make it into a food truck business. Having said that, we have catered many district events, even on weekends. But again, it has been within the parameters of the one of the National School Lunch Program, the Child and Adult Care Program. It's been under one of those purviews. So we've been serving reimbursable meals, but not meals where we are selling it for cash. In terms of our catering, we do a lot of caterings within the district to support different district events. Having said that, that also happens within the district. We haven't done anything outside because the demands which come within our district, considering our size, are so huge that we really haven't had the need to even look at that opportunity. So we haven't gone that direction.
My entrepreneur brain is just like spinning right now because I'm even thinking about, because like I have 3 kids, as you know.
Yeah.
And when I'm taking them to school in the morning, like sitting in car line waiting, like how cool would it be if there was a food truck there that was serving coffee or like breakfast bagels or something like that? That would be neat. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so you know that we still might be the largest school district with the maximum number of breakfasts served every day. But having said that, for breakfast, while we push for breakfast in the classroom because that's where we see the participation is the highest, but beyond that, we have our carts right at the gate. So when kids come in, and one of the things we've done is that we keep the carts open for a good 15 minutes. So those stragglers who are coming in, they can pick up a breakfast.
Yeah.
And we worked it out with the school principals that they should be allowed to take the meal and eat it even in the classroom.
Good.
So
Good. Well, my mind was going like parents getting out to get the coffee.
that one, maybe in the future. Who knows?
I like to bend rules if you haven't figured that out yet.
Who knows?
Yeah. So Jamie is your new chef from the
Yes.
CIA. What did she do before she came to the district?
So before she came to the district, she's actually worked for even the French Laundry in Napa.
Whoa.
Yeah. But before she came to district, she was doing her own program and her own business.
Okay.
So she had a bakery business, and she also had a tie-up with this company. I'm forgetting the name. It's a well-known company which deals with kitchen equipment. So she had a tie-up with them. And so she used to do different bakery products, and she used to ship them off to families and to whoever wanted to buy her product. She decided that she wanted to go back to, having a regular job. And I think when you worked in the hospitality business, you're there 24 hours, 7 days a week.
I never about to
School
say.
district, you get a break.
Quality of life is way
Right.
better on this side.
So you're off by 4 o'clock every day. Weekend, once in a while, you might be asked to do something, but you have the weekends to yourself. You have holidays. You have other breaks, which you don't get in the hospitality business. So I think it's a good fit. And she's happy with what is available here.
Do you market the fact that she was involved with French Laundry and now she's one of your chefs?
We haven't necessarily talked so much about that part, but we've definitely talked about her training with the Culinary Institute of America, because we want people to understand that the level of food that we're looking to do is, it's not just to elevate meals, but we want winners, and what she has provided for us have been winners.
Man,
yeah,
that's exciting. That is so. I love it when these high-level chefs come into school districts to serve. Was there any culture shock for her? Like, did she get what she expected when she got to the district, or was it, just
I think nobody can be ready for a school district when you've come from hotels, restaurants, that kind of business. But having said that, during when we hired her, we kind of gave her a good background of what school meals are and what to expect, and that the glamour is not there, but there is a different kind of service that you provide,
Yeah.
and also the fact that you can really contribute to it. Yes, there are regulations that we have to follow.
Yeah.
So it's not just that. And then, the margins within which you operate are,
It's different.
are very different. So I think she took up the challenge.
Yeah.
At this point of time, I think she's got her head around it. We've sent her for a couple of sessions with CIA and for, other groups meeting other school districts to get a sense of what other school districts are doing and what their chefs might be doing. So
All right.
I think, somebody kind of getting used to a school district in 6-7 months, I think that's pretty good.
That's really good. All right, so I have to throw an idea at you, and this is one of my, well, it's actually not a thought anymore. We're actually executing on it. We do a lot of video productions, love telling stories. I want to promote school meals, but I also have experience working in the restaurant world too, doing creative productions. Well, I had an idea to do a new show where we have a school chef compete against a restaurant chef. And it's called This Is School Meals. And the whole idea is the two chefs, they create a school meal, and the restaurant chef has to follow the new guidelines and do things the way that we do them in schools. And then both, like, we film the chefs, they tell their story, who they're making the meal for, why they're making it, like all that stuff. And then they have to present it to a panel of students, parents and students. And the whole idea is to show that, hey, like, we offer like these, like, the brands you buy in the stores are the same brands that we cook with in schools.
True.
And more often than not, it's actually healthier for you. The school version is healthier, but they taste just as good, look just as good, smell just as good. But we want to just show that, restaurant quality food can be served and is served in schools.
Great idea.
So you're going to send Jamie to be on the show?
Let me talk to her. But I'll say this to you. So we already working on a Chef's Challenge program.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we have about 5 pretty well-known chefs, including Jeff Tila, if you've heard of him.
I know
He
Jeff.
has his book, yeah. And Chef Malin, who's won the Food Network Challenge, and 3 other chefs.
Okay.
And they're going to be working with 5 schools which have culinary programs, crafting a dish which potentially can go on the menu.
Yeah.
And then we're looking to have a cook-off in March.
Oh man, am I going to be invited to this? I want to be here for that.
Be happy to do that.
That sounds awesome.
So, to your point, we see the value in it. We also want people to know that, school food is very different from the idea which existed. And in order to do that, the best way is to show what's happening, make people experience it.
Yeah.
That's when the conversation changes.
Oh gosh, I love it. All right, Manish, in closing, is there anything else that you want to share? You've been dropping some pretty cool stuff all episode, but am I missing anything? What else?
I would say, since Amanda's here too, we've talked about ramen. So pretty soon ramen's going to be on the secondary school menus.
Okay.
We actually got some hot water dispensers which were donated to us by Hormel.
Oh.
Now we're getting them installed, and then we're going to be ready to serve ramen, which I think, at least for the secondary schools, is going to be a big changer because kids are very much into ramen. So that's happening. Beyond that, I would say that as we move forward, we hope that the funding for school meals is kept intact.
Yes.
There's going to be a change in leadership in the government, so we're waiting to see how that's going to impact us. But having said that, from our side, we are committed to introducing new menu items. Our menu items are always tasted and approved by students. I talked about the survey. We also have a vendor fair, which we do. We invite all our vendors to bring new stuff which they want to propose.
Yeah.
And we have the students taste it. So that one is coming up in March.
Okay.
That's going to be happening.
And I hear you guys do a really, really good job with that. I occasionally I'll hear that these type of events happen and the vendors aren't really extremely happy about the way they work out. But I have only heard positive things about the one that you guys do here from multiple vendors. So hats off to you. You guys are great partners.
That is good to know. Having said that, I think there are opportunities and there'll be some challenges, and we're ready for the next round.
Yeah. Yes, you are. Well, please keep me in the loop. I would love to share more of what you guys are doing because it truly is inspirational and it's innovative. And you guys are kind of disruptors, I would say, too, in the school meals game. And you guys are doing really interesting things. And I love just getting a chance to sit down and hang out and chat with you. We don't get to do it too often, but whenever we do, it's always good. And I am going to hold you to that trip to India one day.
Yes, I think that'd be very interesting. I get to show you different facets of what Indian cooking is, because it literally changes every 100 miles.
Yeah.
And you move from one state to the other, the cooking's totally different, and the flavors are different.
That sounds awesome.
Indian food has to have spice, but like I say to people, spice doesn't mean heat.
Mm-hmm.
Spice means flavor.
Exactly.
Heat is as you go more south, and you know how they say that when the weather's hotter, the amount of chili increases.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's true.
Also.
All right.
That's true.
I'll make a note of that. Well, hey, Manish, thank you again for taking time out of your day to chat with me. I learned a lot. I'm sure everybody out there learned a lot too. And you've been watching the Next Up podcast.
And one of the things which I'll end up with is that we are transitioning to a new software, which is Heartland Solutions. But with that, we also are looking forward to incorporating elements of AI into how we run our business.
AI in school. So that is a whole different topic because you actually did some classes on AI.
Yes.
So I say next time we get together, we talk about AI. Cool?
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yep.